half the time, it's not the young brother living in poverty in the projects. No, these be the youngsters that live in the suburbs.
For today's rant, I'll be talking to black men, black males, black Americans.
Suburbs whose families have deep six-figure incomes. Mama make $300,000, daddy make $500,000 a year, but he is so devoid of an identity.
Right. And he trying to portray something that he ain't never been, don't have no concept of.
Well, see, he living not in 5,000 square foot house in Pearland.
Right.
But when he goes around his peers and they ask him, where you from? He don't want to claim Pearland. So what does he do? He say, I'm from Fifth Ward. Because that's where his granny lived.
Right.
That's where his mom and his daddy grew up. Because he building his identity. And because his mama and his daddy still together and his life don't look like NBA young boys, he is ashamed of the fact.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I know. He's ashamed of the fact that he lives in a 2-parent household.
Right.
He's ashamed of the fact that his family got 3-4 cars.
Right.
Why? Because they'll always be able to accuse him of not getting it out the mud.
Right.
Oh, you had this handed to you.
Right.
You know, so these are some of the really peculiar dynamics that I'm finding in these cases that I'm dealing with. So a lot of these youngsters, they have a lot of options and a lot of opportunity, but they are choosing the streets.
So this is always a tough one for me personally, especially being a black male. A lot of the things that you can say most of the time sound like a cop-out nowadays. But then to understand that all of us didn't grow up in our day. You know what I mean? There's certain part of the black experience, at least at my age, that nowadays I'm not sure how many African Americans can relate to it. There used to be tropes in movies as far as with African Americans, whereas though you go to the house and this grandmother in there with a bonnet on and a robe with no drawstring in it. She got to pull tight on her. You got 5 to 10 kids in the bedroom sleeping, 2 a bed, feeding each other face. She's getting everybody up and telling them it's time to get washed, get ready for breakfast because it already smells like food through the house. There's a certain time that everybody needs to be out of the house. And then you're out and you're running around and you're playing all day and you're getting into whatever you're getting into. I'm an adult now, so I'm not necessarily sure that that's how everything goes on in the street. But in the actuality is I just don't really see as many people outside. Like outside, the way that I did when I was younger. You know what I mean? There's always a cluster of here and there or whatever, but it used to be a time where everybody was outside. Like there was no way for you to get the news and knew what happened unless you was out there. You know what I mean? You couldn't sit in the house and it felt like you were a part of everything else that was going on. So what does this have to do with the black male thing? We use this word hood. Is a way to define accolades and also a location. One thing I feel that we all understand is black Americans, the slang terminology for hood came from neighborhood. So everybody has a neighborhood. But then in the 90s, at least for me, I'm going to speak for me. I'm sure that it's somebody that's older than me that can speak of when it changed or where they fell, whatever for them. But for me, when I started hearing more of it, or even when I started hearing like the older dudes be like, yo, it's a street name and shit like that, was around the time that the music started shifting and it was so much more of a value to being in a rougher area. Like there was a time that we all can remember, like You made fun of people that lived in the projects, like we made fun of people that lived in the hood. Like you didn't before they had EVT on the scanning card. You didn't want to get caught with food stamps. There was the time to where as though yes, if you're in the hood and amongst each other, and there would be the other group of black dudes to be like, yeah, yo, you know, these are when you see them going through shit or you see how they operating or doing unkeptly shit, you be like, yeah, you know, them little hood niggas and shit. But rap music made it to where as though these are the ones that we're seeing more of now. These are the popular kids. At the end of the day, as black males, we succumb to peer pressure amongst each other more than outside forces. Even when it comes down to females. Yeah, niggas want bad bitches, but really niggas want pussy. Most of the niggas that I know, you know that a good looking female does not always equal out to good pussy. And don't always equal out to a good time. But we know amongst peers the visual aesthetics and how this thing looks because we're kind of indirectly competing with each other in these type of situations. So with that being said, is most of the time what happens with us as black males when we get escalation in these conversations. You're put in a position where as though you're feeling inferior because you're lacking knowledge or you're lacking money or any other attribute. You're put in a situation like a female where as though you're in an argument and you know you lost. So the only thing that you can do is call the nigga a broke ass nigga. Because none of the other shit you're saying is holding any value anymore. Most of the time that I've been in arguments with dudes like that or anything like that, it be one of the, you acting like you hard because you're from the place I'm from doesn't make me who the fuck I am. It don't put me on no more shit. Man, Sue Surf, I always refer to this when he was talking to Calico. There's so many people that I see the way as though you, because you live in poverty, by choice at that just gives you some type of leverage or puts you in a certain fraternity when it doesn't. So much so that just like the older brother was saying, you're getting a generation of people now to where as though you don't have to do this. I've even seen it around my way with the Euros and shit. You gotta plug and you gotta play, but you gotta come to the hood to get the shit off. And then by default, just like you see a lot of the old heads doing what the dudes that are streaming, as soon as somebody feeding you, now all of a sudden, they big homie, they this a solid motherfucker. Especially for us as blacks, as fucked up as it is, a nigga could put a couple dollars in your pocket sometime. Especially if they of another race, you could automatically explain how they done more for you than somebody of your own kind has. Meanwhile, motherfuckers watching your kids all the fucking time. Niggas putting your kids on the bus, everything else. There most definitely is an infatuation. Or I could say this. There's a reason why we look at people that are like, there's a reason the gladiators were gladiators. It's the reason we even look at football players. Well, it's kind of like, I'm not, Lord knows we want everybody to be healthy. And shouldn't nobody be going out there to kill themselves over it. But that's what we paying for. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of paying for you to go out there and put your life on the line. That's what everybody is showing up for. There's a fraternity a lot of the times for pain, for going through something. There's fraternity for people that have been to war and come back home. But then guess what? There's a hierarchy in that. I've said it before about my family. A lot of my family went to the military. There's a hierarchy in the military. These niggas don't talk about each other equally. If you're doing sanitation or you're doing food service or certain things, there's other joints that don't look at y'all the same way because of the amount of time that you're going to spend in the field, or even for people that went over the war. There were some people that were sitting on bases. So yes, you're not home, but at the same time, you on a base. You're in the security and they got certain comforts. They got the mini PXs set up on there, whatever the fuck it may be. They got movies that they're showing. I'm not saying that it's home, but at the same time, you're not Saving Private Ryan either. So you think the niggas that was Saving Private Ryan is looking at the niggas on the base the same, like when they're talking about their traumas of what war did to them? But then it becomes a problem also as well. Is okay, because you're sitting on a base, you're still not seeing your family for however long you're going from your family. You got deaths, you got whatever else going on. You got friends and stuff that you built relationships with, to where as though one day yo goes out and he doesn't come back. You're still losing friends over there. Just your personal life may not be in the risk like that. But the trauma that you're getting and that's going to develop from the situation is no different than anybody else's trauma. So once again, for the black community, it used to be a time I felt like we labeled the black experience behind the cultural things that we adjusted as far as entertainment. Oh, you black, you ain't seen Friday. Oh, you black, you ain't seen The Wiz. You black, you ain't seen Color Purple. You ain't hip to certain shit. To whereas now, once again, the popularity or the thing that it shifted to was being a nigga or being ignorant and being a savage or being from nothing. There's a difference between having confidence, like the brother said, and there's a difference between self-esteem. And I feel like one of the hardest things for us a lot of the time is being boastful with your chest out isn't confidence. And a lot of the time, the hood mentality is a boastful mentality. It requires you to go out and say, you know who I am? I'm a fucking... It's a boastful thing. This is what you think of. When you think of a hood mentality, you don't never think of the better qualities that you see from somebody in the hood that kept it solid, quiet, and moved how you were supposed to, because you naturally, most of us want to equate that to hood shit. We equate bugger shit to hood shit. But I say it all the time, oh, why that shit never really shakes me with us, and why I know that it's a facade. You know how many hood niggas hit me with that shit, and then when you start hitting with the nigga, so you was homeless, you was a broke piece of shit growing. Like, what do you think? You thought you was gonna move me with that? A lot of the times I feel like a lot of, because your house, because you lived in an apartment with shit. I tell people all the time, I had tons of hood niggas that I used to love going over their fucking house. Couldn't wait to go. These niggas got every game system in this motherfucker. They got all the fucking new snacks in this bitch. They can make food and shit whenever they want to because ain't never nobody fucking home. Even from my experience, like, I tell you, I don't never want to claim no hood shit. I was a country kid. This is different. This is different. Yes, there is country hood, but I was a country kid. It's the same shit that's going on in whatever niggas would want to call a hood, but they just be different. Because that shit would be so fucking closed in. Like I said, you could walk around at nighttime. This niggas at this bitch playing horseshoes. This somebody with this bitch burning trash. They got music playing. Like, we ain't even had lights on our court. Go out that bitch. Niggas had the cars on. The cars turned to the courts. But what I would never do, or what I don't do personally for myself, is be like, oh my God, every day, you would never know what it was like. And because you never know what it's like, you are so different, and we're never going to. My nigga. Niggas die every day, B. This shit going on everywhere. Some places just get more publicity and it's done on a larger scale. But you finding some type of solace in being a fucked up piece of shit or living in a fucked up situation. There's always making the best of anything. There's just like people with the jail community. We're gonna talk about a hookup. We're gonna talk about a stir fry. We're gonna talk about the jail wine. Because at the end of the day, you're making the best of these situations while you're in them. And that's what you're supposed to do in the hood. And those are the stories that we talk about. Mayonnaise sandwiches. And it's the angle that you're talking about it, man. But when you're wearing it as a badge of honor, nobody gives a fuck.